Joining us as we got done just a few minutes ago talking with Congressman Chip Roy about his run for Texas AG. Scott Braddock now joining us, a good friend, editor of QuorumReport.com, to talk to us about everything happening Texas politics-wise, including that AG's race. Scott, welcome back. How are you?
So much going on. You want to start with that? It's something different, something interesting.
Yeah, let's. It is interesting
and different.
Let's talk about that crazy AG's race in the Republican primary.
We now have 4 candidates. Let's see. Can I name them all? It's Chip Roy, Joan Huffman. We have Aaron Wrights. And who's the other one?
Mays Middleton.
Who's the fourth? Mays Middleton. How could I forget Mays Middleton? He's putting $10 million worth of his own money. Oh, here's why I might forget. Because he's put all this money into this race. And, he has, family money, very wealthy, born into a wealthy family and all that, lives in River Oaks down in Houston, represents part of Southeast Texas, including Galveston Island, but apparently hasn't spent any of that money yet because I forgot he's even in the race. I don't really see ads or anything going yet. Somebody today was giving him grief and saying, well, how come he hasn't spent any of that? Well, these races haven't really started, Chad. You and I know that. We've covered enough of these primaries to know that, number one, we haven't even gotten to the filing period yet when these candidates will actually put their names on the ballot. That comes up in the middle of November through the middle of December. It's about a 30-day period for that, and that's when that's when the rubber really meets the road. I keep telling people that in all these races, it's very possible that some of the people who say they're running for one thing now could end up running for something else.
Yep.
That's very possible. People have, at this point, just think of it as they have announced for whatever it is. So here you have 2 state senators. You've got 2 guys who both used to work for Ken Paxton, and one guy who worked directly for the Trump administration in the Department of Justice. That's Aaron Wrights. And Aaron Wrights has really been making waves as somebody who you just like. And here's the thing: watch for this guy. When the U.S. Senator, the junior senator Ted Cruz, was elected, who had heard of him before that?
Yeah.
Almost nobody back in 2012, and somebody who worked, also worked in the Attorney General's office under Greg Abbott at that time, and with Ted Cruz. Here you have 2 people who at different times worked for Cruz as chief of staff, with Roy, who is now the congressman, and Wrights. And until Chip Roy got into the race, I just felt that it didn't have any shape to it at all.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there was no real. I didn't know where this was going. We've got these people who, the vast majority of people have never heard of state senators, until they run for something else. But that doesn't mean they can't get there, right? Paxton was a state senator before he became Attorney General, and Glenn Hager, for example, the former comptroller now, he was a state senator right before that. Doesn't mean you can't do it, but you got to have a lot of money to put into one of these races. And it's interesting that here you have Senator Cruz and Ken Paxton himself split on this race. With I saw the video this afternoon, Paxton endorsing Aaron Wrights, who again just left the Trump administration, and then you have Senator Cruz over the weekend coming out and lending his support to Chip Roy. So at least at this point, we're starting to get an idea of where the major players are going to come down on this.
Yeah, and I think, look, I had Aaron Wrights on the show. He was in studio on Friday, and I was very impressed with the guy. I mean, he said all the right things. He's obviously, he
must be running for something.
Yeah, I mean, he's already polished, and for a guy who, I guess folks could say he's come out of nowhere. I guess relatively so. He's very polished. He knows what to say. Again, and what I've brought up with both of these candidates when I've had them on the show, everyone's going to try to out-conservative each other. Everyone's going to talk about how they're conservative. And how they're going to sue a Democrat administration in the future and everything. I mean, this is what we're going to hear in the Republican primary. But I was impressed with Ryan, and I hear from some folks every now and then who – it's not like they're laughing him off, but they're going, okay, this guy has no shot because no one knows who he is. I don't think so. I'm with you on I interviewed Ted Cruz when nobody knew who he was. We were inviting him out here, and people fell in love with the guy. because of what he was saying, what he was talking about. And Dewhurst basically didn't want to come out this way and talk to anybody. And okay, now Chip Roy's not going to shy away from a fight. We know that. So I think it's going to be interesting. The fact that you've got Paxson endorsing rights early on, this is going to be, I think, a runoff. We're going towards a runoff between these two as of right now. It's early, but I think we're heading towards that point.
And all of those things I agree with that assessment. The other thing that we haven't said here is that only one of the four candidates in this race has the liability of having been on the opposite side of President Trump on some major fights, and that's Chip Roy, right? He has spoken out multiple times about, President Trump's flagrant spending, for example. Roy is always one of the old school fiscal hawks on the floor of the House of Representatives in Washington,
which I love.
Sure, a lot of Republicans like that. I do think, though, and this happens a lot. Think about the very strategic endorsements of Governor Abbott last year in state house races when he was trying to get his school voucher plan passed. He didn't really campaign about that issue, right? I mean, when he was campaigning against those members and when he was making his endorsements, he talked some about that, but it wasn't the main thing, right? He said that there were people in the Texas House who were too soft on immigration. So I could imagine that President Trump might come out for someone like Aaron Reitz, who again has. And look, if he came out for Reitz, it might be more because he's against Chip Roy. Right, because Roy has, pissed him off enough. And what would President Trump say? He wouldn't say, "Oh, this guy fought with me about, that I was spending too much." He would just say, "I'm with Reitz because he's going to be the perfect partner for my administration in cracking down on the border, and he'll be the one that maybe after I'm gone as president, he'll be the one to sue a Democratic president into oblivion. He's the conservative fighter you want for Texas Attorney General." It'll be something like that, right? And so that is the kind of thing that I think complicates it for Roy. And to extend on the comparison to Senator Cruz from years ago, Senator Cruz at that time, the highest profile job that he had in government was Solicitor General of Texas. If you went out on the street and asked 10 people, what does the Solicitor General do? Most of them wouldn't be able to tell you, right? But at that time, in the 2012 race, there was a runoff. And you had those two guys, Cruz and Dewhurst, eventually going at it mano a mano. And what happened? It was the young upstart, the energetic guy who says all the right things, and was really able to win over conservatives who won the race. So I think we have a real contest now.
Yeah, no, I think so, absolutely. And so it's going to be a long race. We'll see what happens. Yep. There's a long ways to go in it, and I think Chip Roy is hoping Trump does not make an endorsement in that race.
And what irony, by the way, I can't let this go. One other thing that Cruz, who we're comparing Reitz to, is against him and is for Roy.
Yeah. I know.
I love Texas politics. You can't make this stuff up.